Welcome to the second episode of AI Updates, talk show about artificial intelligence for built environment professionals, brought to you by Finnish AI Region Fair. My name is Teemu Lehtinen. I'm the CEO of Kira Hub, the innovation hub for the built environment sector in Finland, and I'll be your host today. In today's episode, we'll have latest news about AI in the built environment. We have three amazing guests. Eva Geitel from Architects, Joonas Lehtovaara from A-Insinöörit, and Kari Hirvijärvi from Aiforsite. We also have an AI story, highlighted example from the field, and the question of the day selected by our audience suggestions and discussed with our guests in the end. And now, let's go to the news. AI and architecture. The social media has been storming about AI and architecture these past few weeks. First, the Guardian published an article, it's already way beyond what humans can do. Will AI wipe out architects? The article discussed how new AI tools are changing how architects work, from automating manual tasks to augmenting designs and even replacing some of the current roles. The new technology provides a lot of opportunities, but also threats to the existing practice. So, are architects like ostriches with their heads in the sand? The article questions. The same topic was discussed in the biggest newspaper in Finland, Helsingin Sanomat, with a title AI. This was the Guardian article. And Helsingin Sanomat article with a title AI Design a Public Toilet in the style of Alvar Aalto. The article discusses opportunities and threats of AI tools for architectural practice with Finnish architects and academics. The main message is that the use of AI tools will definitely increase among the architects, but architecture is so much about human understanding, empathy, and ethical assessment, which will definitely require the responsibility of human architects also in the future. Finnish AI Region Fair has already served 35 companies after the kickoff event in April. Fair is one of the European digital innovation hubs aiming at accelerating AI adoption for small and medium-sized companies in health and built environment sectors. As part of Fair, we are focusing on the built environment sector as Kira Hub and providing the following services: AI for Built Environment open online course in Finnish and also in English, AI Accelerator, a 3-month sprint where companies can join and plan and test an idea in practice, and also test bed and matchmaking activities. If you're interested in joining any of these activities, please let us know.
Artificial intelligence drives the development of global societies, and Finland is at the heart of turning the theory into practice. Finnish AI Region Fair is a new European digital innovation hub that fast-forwards your AI abilities to the next decade. As part of an EU flagship initiative, Fair EDIH solves real-life business problems using both existing and novel AI. Focusing on digital services, smart cities, and health sector, Fair offers the services of 60 AI professors and their teams, access to Europe's fastest supercomputer Lumi, state-of-the-art test facilities, and world-class venture capital. Fair aims to be genuinely useful, bringing concepts to life. We help SMEs transform AI-empowered innovations into actual products and better internal processes. Through collaboration, we enable SMEs to take a leap in productivity and competitiveness, taking them to the forefront of utilization of AI in their field. Our services include needs analysis and road mapping, training, test before invest, matchmaking, support to find investments. With FAIR, you get access to a unique network of pioneering AI operators in Finland, from leading academic institutions and corporations to the 3 capital region cities, Helsinki, Vantaa, and Espoo. FAIR supports ethically sustainable and ecologically endurable choices, all through reliable, cutting-edge technological innovations. This allows us to make the societal impact we envision. Digital challenges. Together, we will overcome. With FAIR, you become the future.
And finally, Finnish construction tech startup Metroc, also based here at Maresino 01 with us, has raised 2 million euros to expand their offering to European markets. They've developed an AI-based SaaS tool to assist construction firms as they're seeking out new project opportunities. It combines public information from thousands of data sources and has spent 2 years training the language model specifically for the needs of the construction industry. An interesting detail, Metroc has been collaborating with Finnish Criminal Sanctions Office and using the assistance of inmates in 4 different prisons in Finland to train the AI algorithms through document processing work at workstations supplied by the firm. And also through this process, prisoners also learn digital skills needed for study and working life, as well as for integration back into society. And prisoners also learn basics about the construction industry. So seems like a true social innovation, this case. All right, and then for the first guest of the day. All right. Our first guest is Eva Geitel from Ala Architects. Welcome, Eva.
Hey, thank you.
You were actually also featured in this recent Helsingin Sanomat article that we covered in the news. So will AI replace the profession of architects in the future?
Yes, I was interviewed by Helsingin Sanomat, and I must say I really appreciate the hands-on approach of the journalist in this case. She went all in to embrace the tools and tested DALL-E herself. But to go to your question, no. I think our profession is very much needed, and there's a lot of aspects in our work that AI can't replace, at least not yet. But I also think that there is a lot of room for AI to help us in our work. And that's something I guess the industry is looking for, all the different opportunities.
Yeah, definitely. Architectural practice is actually quite holistic process of taking into account a lot of different perspectives in the design, and it's not just about doing pretty pictures.
No, definitely not. Yeah, I think that's just like just a tiny part of that, and that's actually something which was quite largely missing in that Helsingin Sanomat article. So I guess most of the field also feels that the kind of most interesting innovations are outside of these visualization programs. It's more about the optimizing tools and all the tools which help us to kind of generate multiple different options in certain phases of the project. But obviously there are like the Midjourney and DALL-E, which were features in the article, are interesting tools in early conception phases, as for example Zaha Hadid architects are widely using them with the collaboration with the client. And also kind of like as a live mood board for the project. But of course, the kind of the ideas and questions kind of comes from the architects. So I guess it's also a kind of common misconception that the programs would do the designing work and the ideation work for you.
Mentioned that some of the architectural firms are already using at least partially AI in their process. How much companies in Finland are actually utilizing AI?
I guess most of the firms are looking and watching the situation at the moment. Yeah, and kind of waiting how the programs are being developed and what kind of opportunities they are offering. And I guess there is it's also kind of like there's a lot of like the building information models are widely used in all the companies. So I guess it also comes kind of like in that approach, like Autodesk just purchased space makers known as Forma at the moment. They are developing their optimizing tools, and there's a lot of these AI powered plugins, for example, for Grasshopper, the visual programming language for Rhino, which is widely used as architectural design software. So I think also it's as the same time as people are taking over these new tools, you kind of maybe don't even notice that you are actually utilizing IA. So it's also interesting to kind of like where goes the like the limit or the border. Obviously, because AI is incorporated in these various programs. So I guess in some aspects we can see quite rapid development, but I guess in Finland, like it's coming, but it's not. And actually, I think you probably know better than I am through the Kira Kiihdyttämö where we are going with this at the moment.
Yeah, we actually haven't had that many architectural companies joining that yet, but there has been actually quite surprisingly a lot of interest now for this coming fall, and there's at least 3 architectural companies joining the accelerator. So
Okay.
we'll see what happens with them.
Yeah, that's going to be really interesting to see.
Yeah. How about in the future? Do you think AI will provide architects kind of more and more new superpowers, and what are kind of the new use cases that could be developed?
Yeah, that's I wish I would I would know and I would see that far. I definitely know that a lot of the global challenges what we are facing at the moment, like urbanization, digitalization, like the
Climate change.
yes, climate change. Are all like closely linked to the built environment. So that also kind of makes architect profession more relevant than ever. So together with all the other professionals, I definitely did think that there's a lot of work for us to kind of like a lot of demanding and kind of complicated tasks to do. And I definitely think AI has a lot to offer us in that sense. But what would all these kind of different outcomes be? I guess maybe we'll see some ideas in through Kira's Kiihdyttämö already now, and as things advance so rapidly, it's maybe it doesn't take that long to see actually some quite interesting outcomes.
Yeah, definitely. You also been involved with a kind of future scenario work
Yes.
for the architectural practice. So maybe in more general, how does the future look like for architects?
Yeah, so I think I was I already a little bit like answered for you through kind of like these really current topics which we are facing. So I'm actually quite excited for architects about this time, what we are living at the moment. There's a lot of interesting things happening, but of course we have to be like really responsible with all these new developments, and we shouldn't be naive either. Like we should be quite conscious how we are using all these new tools, and also to kind of be updated, like what is going on, and also to learn and like and understand how these different tools are using, and also be mindful of like how they really rely on like the data what they're using, where is the data coming from, how it's assorted, what are the values behind it, and also all the questions regarding the authenticity and privacy, and also copyrights and everything. So there's a lot of responsibility as well, like how we advance. But yeah, definitely looking for the future.
Indeed. A lot of opportunities there, but also a lot of things to take into account. Thank you, Eva, for
Hey.
coming here as a
Thank
guest,
you.
one of the guests, and we'll continue discussing a bit later with rest of the guests. Thank you.
Perfect.
All right. Our second guest is Joonas Lehtovaara from A-Insinöörit Group. Welcome, Joonas.
Thank you, Teemu. It's a pleasure to be here.
So before we had some architectural perspective, now we're going to kind of engineering and consulting perspective. So you've been experimenting actually with AI at A-Insinöörit Group for a while already. Could you share a bit how you started and about the journey, what you have learned so far?
Yeah, certainly. So myself, I'm representing the construction management organization for A-Insinöörit Group. So within the construction management part, we have around 300 professionals. We're looking for, of course, how to manage project, how to deliver project, but also things related to project development, for example, and for lifecycle management. So from this kind of angle, I've been in the company for a bit less than a year, but I tracked down that the AI development within our organization started around 2018, at the same time when the Elements of AI course came up. And I think based on some discussion and a bit after that, we formed an AI or digitalization excellence group within our organization, which started to look for ways how digitalization and, of course, at the same time, AI could be used in our project and in the internal development environment. And after that, I think I'm quite proud to say that I think the development within or with AI has been quite systematic. We haven't been only looking for the trends that has been happening, but looking a bit deeper at how these different tools or methods or systems or innovation could be used as a part of our core business. So we have been, for example, being part of the AI Accelerator program 2 times. We have developed different kind of tools based on our own internal and project needs. For example, regarding NLP processes, image recognition, and internal tools, for example, related to our sales processes. So I would see that this current hype that is around, especially ChatGPT, it's something that we are really, of course, interested at the moment, but we don't see it's not the only catalyst for us to look for AI, but it's part of the longer kind of development that we have been part of for a bit more than 5 years already.
Sounds impressive. So yeah, you were actually part of the original accelerator pilot already a few years back, and then also the batch this spring.
Yes.
So could you share a little bit about your experience this spring in the accelerator and what kind of use cases did you work on specifically?
Yes, of course. So we had a few professional with me in the program, and myself, I'm not the most technically capable person when it comes to AI and these like really novel digital solutions, but I'm looking more on the process side and the side on how these tools and innovation could be used actually in our own system and in the project. So I'm a little bit more on the process side, but for me, the accelerator started with doing the AI for built environment group or the online program, which was actually really interesting to like learn the basics, that what is it about, and learn a bit about the technical background as well. But in the accelerator itself, we actually created two different proof of concepts that we were actually able to build and already implement in our system. So the first proof of concept that we created was related on our project or property development. And within that group or within that part of organization, we have I would say several different kind of ways that we thought that we could use AI in the future. And we decided to do POC on one of these concepts. So it's not like standalone product, but it's something that is part of the bigger process, that some of the parts are done manually and some of the parts are doing automatically or with the AI. And for that, we used the base data or we used a data set that is available publicly. So we used a data set that we didn't have to collect ourselves per se. The second proof of concept that we did was related again on our internal sales process. And this is something that we utilized our own internal data. So I think the cool thing that we were able to do or test this kind of two really different kind of processes. And of course, if you have to collect the data by yourself, you have to collect through your own process and from your own projects. It takes a lot of time. The focus is on really different things than it would be if you get the data automatically well, you don't have to do that kind of work for collect the data if you do it from public domain or publicly available data. So I think both of the proof of concepts were really quite successful. We were able to deploy the initial ideas and actually bring them to practice and already test them with the professionals that we have in organization. And I think about our, like I would say the philosophy of testing these things is that we first try to build the capability in our own organizations to form or have our organization as some kind of living labs where we test the systems internally. And when we see it works and we get people excited and are quite sure it works quite well, we are able to bring them also to the project that we work with the clients. So I think in that sense, having an organization that's actually doing the projects, a lot of projects at the same time helps us to develop the rules also. So we don't have to just guess what the client would want, but we can actually test it throughout the process when we develop the system.
Sounds good. And definitely, the journey is not a one-time effort. It's a process that really actually continues and continues.
Yes.
And you have kind of built that inside your company. And there seem to be a lot of opportunities within an engineering consulting company like A-Insinöörit Group, where there's actually a lot of different business areas within the company and a lot of different opportunities through those as well.
Yes, that's correct. So yeah, that's actually one thing that I would like to grasp on, that is that within our construction management organization, we are doing certain things, but of course we want to spread the best things for the whole organization as well. So in our unit, we have around less than 300 persons. In the whole organization, we have more than 1,400. So of course, if we can get something working and it seems it works really well, of course we want to share it for the other parts of the organization as well. If it seems it really, if our closest people seem to be interested in something, it's a sign that maybe somebody else would be interested in as well.
All right, then what about the future? What are kind of A-Insinöörit Group's objectives for the future use of AI, and how do you see kind of the biggest potential, maybe not just for the engineering consulting company's perspective, but the whole sector, built environment sector's perspective? How do you kind of vision the future with AI?
Yeah, so I think what we're going to do in the near future is just continue doing the good work, and in addition of building these cool tools and making them happen. I think really important thing is how do you get organization and the people who are actually doing the project or working with a client interested in those things. So I think if we can spread the enthusiasm around these tools and people see that, okay, this is actually how I want to do these things. I really want to use this tool because it makes my life easier or it makes the client succeed. I think that's the message that tells that we're looking or going to the right direction. And I think that's something that I want to drive myself a lot, want to make sure that these things are not just cool gadgets that are left somewhere after the first implementation, but actually used for probably more than years to come. I would say that well, within engineering consulting company, but in the whole field itself, I think the key word that I would like to look when we do or implement AI tools is collaboration. So that I think the really the key question is that how do we collaborate with the AI? So I really like the term co-pilot myself. I think when I think about AI, I always think it as some kind of co-pilot with you that helps you to do things. You can maybe even with ChatGPT, you can brainstorm things. You can increase your creativity, hopefully productivity at the same time, and it makes you to do your job better. It's not there to replace you, but it's someone or something that actually creates the project or the organization better. And I think the key question is that how we collaborate with the AI, how we make things happen with the AI, but also how we enhance the collaboration between people with AI. So I think the best scenario would be that we're able to free time for the people, not to do these tedious tasks that, especially in project management, take a long time when you have prepared documents and collect data manually from the site. But you could do that maybe automatically, and it would free more time for actually think about this interesting and worthwhile problems and not spending time on something that could be done by the AI. So I think this kind of multi-way collaboration is something that I would be really interested to look on, and something that would maybe be something that changes the field in the future as well.
Sounds promising. Thank you very much, Joonas, for joining us as one of the guests today. And it's time to go to our third guest of the day.
Thank you.
All right. The final guest is Kari Hirvijärvi from Aiforsite. Welcome, Kari.
Thank you.
So, Aiforsite, as a name, already has AI in it. So, what is Aiforsite, and why did you start developing it?
Aiforsite is the company have developed and provide digital tools and AI for construction professionals in order to empower their skills.
Sounds good. So, can you be a little bit more specific on the AI part? How much and why have you kind of started to implement AI within the solution?
If we go back to year 2016, the company was founded based on the idea that there is a lack or research, not idea, research, based on the research that there's a huge lack of data collection services in the industry. So that was the basic idea to found the company in order to develop and provide scalable AIT solutions to industry. So we started with that, and by providing all our modules to customers, there is like a temperature, humidity, dust module, fixed camera module, drone module, 360 video recording, location information module. Those together collects data in average 100 gigabytes per site per week. And already 2017, we thought that if we are able to deliver this kind of solutions, data collection solutions, we are able to develop real AI for the built environment. And we starting to put all together 1.5 years ago, and launched Wendy AI in May this year for built environment.
So you basically started with kind of to start making sense on what's going on within the construction site. You started to develop your solution for this kind of a, well, some people discuss about this kind of real-time situational picture of the construction site. And you started with sensors and IoT devices to kind of get all that data together. And then you felt that, hey, we have this massive amount of data of these sites, and we need to build a system that kind of makes sense of it.
That's true, yeah. And during the years, we have already developed this different kind of AI parts, like picture recognition models, estimation models, and so on. But actually, the core of Wendy AI, that development work, we started a couple of years ago in order to develop ontology, knowledge graph, and Wendy Lang model. And now it's time to go to market. So after our launch in London, we have already almost 10 customers here in Finland and related to AI. Here in Finland and in the UK, and the first production version is going to go out during September this month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Let's go soon to the actual demo of Wendy, but now, so Wendy is an AI assistant that kind of plays a user interface to the whole Aiforsite platform.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's kind of that new and easier interface like ChatGPT was for generative AI and language model. How do you see the potential of this kind of solution coming out of Finland on the global construction tech market?
Of course, the market is big, is growing, and potential is huge. Very hot topic at the moment. But I'm pretty sure that if we think about the target customers, we have to provide a way how we implement or deploy AI in a proper manner. Security is one very important thing, and so that everybody understand the value of, in our case, Wendy. And it can be small things in the first beginning. Opportunities for AI, those are huge, and I am not the technical expert, but what I have studied many years already, AI, I'm pretty sure that from the technical perspective, AI can replace almost everything. And that is the potential. But in a practice, we have to go with the small parts forward. And it can be a co-pilot, it can be assistant, and help a lot people to solve new problems, or all problems faster, and facing new problems in the future.
Construction side as an environment is not the kind of most simplest or easiest environment to be in, and all kinds of tools and also user interfaces need to be quite easy and simple to adopt and implement. Maybe this is finally a solution to this problem, that you have a really easy way to interact with a complex system and get that insight whenever you need it.
Yeah, that is one core thing of Wendy AI, to simplify the user experience. Like you can integrate Wendy to existing data, like common data environment, to third-party applications. Of course, those modules what we are providing. And with one interface, you can write, speak, have a discussion with the intelligent matter concerning all the data what is behind the AI interface. So it simplifies in that sense, if we think about the situational awareness in some certain project.
Sounds good. We had previously architects view, the engineers view. How do you see from the kind of software providers view for the construction, the future potential of AI in construction? What are some of the biggest?
Depends on real customer cases. We have seen a huge growth of ChatGPT. In the first beginning, if I remember correct, it was something like 120 million users in 3 months. But actually now it has decreased. And now we are facing the time where comes real applications. And how it goes further depends on if those applications are giving value to customers. So, but the huge potential and huge money is involved on that. So I'm pretty sure that it goes further, and there is going to be breakthrough applications and which push forward the AI implementation.
Thank you, Kari, and looking forward to see how the thing will go forward. Today's AI story, we will continue with Kari and Aiforsite Wendy. So let's see what it looks like in practice. Just a second.
So, shall I?
All right. Yes. So, Kari, what can we do with Wendy?
I can show you a couple simple examples. And first of all, I have to say that this user interface is demo interface, and production user interface is a little bit different. But in order to show what Wendy can do, we use this one.
Unfortunately, we couldn't get the audio now to the stream.
Hi, how can I assist you today? If you want to request something from me, please provide one request per message.
Maybe we did. Hopefully, at least we are hearing Wendy. So hopefully everybody behind streams is also hearing her. So this use case is related to situational awareness from any construction site. Of course, the data has been integrated to the system, and Wendy is using the data. Just a couple of simple examples. Let's ask him to show BIM.
My BIM skill set allows me to view and navigate BIM models. Is there anything specific you would like me to help you with regarding BIM models?
Let's open BIM model.
I opened BIM view and now loading model for you.
Let's go to hall.
I navigated you to the hall.
You can discuss through Wendy concerning BIM model. You can ask like anything. Wendy calculates all the amounts of square meters, cubic meters, calculates how many this and this kind of windows there are, and so on. This is one very good example of how to use Wendy. But we can also integrate the existing situational awareness from the site. let's ask her to show latest 360 video.
Here is
It comes
360 in the hall.
Let's ask more information related to project data.
My project data skill set allows me to access to all kind of project data and show it to you. Is there anything specific you would like me to help you with regarding project data?
Show me the latest image from the site.
Here is the latest image from the site.
Who is at the site at the moment?
The following workers are currently at the site.
And send a report to me.
Report sent to your email Kari at Aiforsite.com.
This was a quite simple, in this sense, simple example how we can integrate all the data what have been collecting from the site or third-party applications. And you can ask when did they do that every day, like 4 p.m. and send the report to everybody in the project.
Sounds incredible. And actually, now that kind of seeing this, definitely it's not just a tool for the construction side, but also tool for the later stages in the life cycle of buildings, like for facility managers,
yeah,
and so on.
Yeah, that is very important thing. It also takes those walls away, like what we have between different phases in the process, like designing phase and construction phase and maintenance phase. Yeah, that is valuable.
Yeah, really cool demo. Final question. What's the story behind the name Wendy?
We had a name competition, and it was quite funny. During the competition time, it ended one Thursday, if I remember correct, 3 p.m. And I was with my wife in Stockholm Metro, and my wife heard about the name competition, and she asked me that can she join also that competition, and I put a message to our employees, and everybody was fine with that. And actually, Eva, my wife, founded the name of the company, and of course, it reflects the basic idea to develop AI for site.
What about Wendy?
Wendy, all right, that is different. We was in train in London, and we have a name competition related to our AI, and that time we didn't ask. Our country manager Vassos told me that his daughter have a good name option, and it is based on children's movie Bob the Builder, and Bob the Builder's colleague is Wendy, and Wendy is all the charge of billing and charge of material flow, and everything goes smoothly. Wendy do everything like that, and in Finland it's actually the name is Anni. Puuhapete is Bob the Builder, and Anni is Wendy.
That's a good story. Thank you, Kari, for the demo. And next we go to the question of the day.
Thank you.
All right. Time for the question of the day from the audience. And this time, the question of the day is from Jani Rintala from Planera. And he will win a ticket to WDB Summit in 2 weeks. Congratulations, Jani. The question is, how can we ensure that all the work that is put into AI development is pointed towards safe and sustainable future instead of maximizing efficiency. So we asked the question from the ChatGPT first, and here is the answer. There's quite a lot of things that need to be taken into account. So ensuring that AI development is directed towards safe and sustainable future. Here are several strategies to achieve this goal. So ethical guidelines and principles, multi-stakeholder collaboration, ethical AI education and training, impact assessments, environmental impact considerations, regulatory frameworks, transparency and accountability, third-party audits, public engagement, research funding, long-term thinking, and continuous monitoring and adaptation. So it's actually a quite extensive list of things that should be happening. So yeah, let's discuss with the guests that have you taken this question already in your own work into consideration, and what are your views on this question? Maybe Kari can start kind of providing software and developing the AI.
Ethical things and let's say security is very important. In our case, that is one biggest area what we are working with, because there are a couple of rules. AI cannot give, let's say, bullshit answers. That is one, and users have to trust, in our case, Wendy. And of course, basically, it depends a lot of company owners, employees, what kind of culture they are, what kind of rules and control there is, and it starts from that point, how the models are developed, which kind of data you are using, your security standards, and so on. It's like it doesn't really differ if you are thinking about how we are building rules and culture among people. If you are acting like that, so you are in quite safe place. But there comes a but. If AI models are open to every developer, there are possibilities that somebody is using your development work and that generates perhaps evil things in the world in the future. That is also a possibility.
Definitely. What about Eva with the perspective of architecture?
Yes, I think definitely knowledge and awareness are really important. So I think architects should be really aware what is going on, how these tools are working, and where all the data comes from. And of course, we are not working alone. So it also involves all the other stakeholders, especially the clients, like the environment where we are working with. And obviously, as we can see from this extensive list that was just shown to us, it really needs a like collaborate effort to have everybody kind of working towards the safe use of AI with ethical as like in the really important role. Thank you.
This is also one topic within the FAIR project and also the FGAI center to research these things, to kind of develop and define these things. So if you have any questions about this, you can always kind of ask those questions from the FAIR and from the FGAI center.
Great.
Joonas, what about your perspective on the question?
Yes, so I had mentioned that I have a research background. So before jumping to answer the question, I would like to look what the question actually says. So I think it's really great question, but I would like to add that bringing sustainable, safe future and improving efficiency they don't have to contradict each other in my head, but I think they can actually go hand in hand. And what I mentioned in my part earlier is that one way of improving our potential of solving these really hard problems or wicked problems that we have here related to safe and sustainable environment. I think part how we can ensure that is that we actually automate and make these more tedious tasks more automated and more efficient, so that we don't have to spend time or filling documents and do this kind of things that doesn't actually help us to solve the big problems. So I would like to add that there.
I agreed because that is a good thing. We should get rid of manual work and filling out documents and so on. And that is, I think, that is the best value what AI can bring immediately. And sustainable thing is one area what we are focusing in. We have already started development work and teaching Wendy skills against ESG. What is needed for that. And one part of that job is to automate filling documentation and calculate basic things and so on. Yeah, that is very important.
Yes, I think that's amazing, and I totally agree. And a couple of things that I would like to point down from the answers. I think it's really comprehensive answer, and I think they're really good points, and we could discuss the whole day if we go through all of them. But I would like to highlight, in addition to collaboration, the number one, ethical guidelines and principle. I think, Eva, you mentioned this before, and I think it's really important that when we are moving really fast forward, that we are sure that things are happening, or we are considering the ethical manners in addition to doing interesting things and making or being really excited about the stuff that's happening. And second thing that I would like to point out connected to this is research. And I think having this kind of objective view in addition to moving really fast forward is really important when we want to bring something sustainable and make sure that it lasts more than just the next quarter and the next business cycle. So I would highlight these two things that popped out there when I read the list.
Good point. This list is actually general, so nothing related to specifically the built environment sector, just AI utilization in general. Are there any kind of specific things that we should consider within the built environment sector's perspective and utilizing AI? Does anything comes into mind? Any specifics that we should kind of take into account from the built environment sector?
Well, I can start. I think one thing that has always fascinated me about built environment is that the cycles of how long the project lasts and how long the building is going to be, they're really different than the development or the innovation cycle that we have here. So how fast the AI is developing compared to that we are building buildings that are going to last for 100 and 200 years. I think this, how do you combine these two really different cycles together ethically? And for example, from structural engineering to architecture's point of view, I think that's a really interesting thing that we should look for and think about when we develop these things.
Yeah, and we definitely, the built environment is our physical infrastructure, buildings and roads and bridges. There's examples of companies utilizing AI, for example, to come up with low carbon concrete recipes. But then again, do we have enough research on the structural integrity of this new material and so on? Any other kind of examples of these kinds of things?
I don't know if I have a good example right at this point, but I take a little bit other angle. AI is a huge potential for construction industry or built environment in the whole, but construction companies or all the actors in the field should start to structure their data management. That is a very important thing in order to get in the next level, use AI in a valuable manner. We can see a lot of companies who doesn't have any data management. They don't have any CDEs, common data environments, and that work can be started immediately if you like to achieve good value from utilizing AI.
That's a good point, and that's also one of the things that's being covered in the AI accelerator. Everything starts with data and well-structured data. But of course, there's also ways to start making sense of not that structured data as well. So everything doesn't have to be perfect in that sense.
Yeah, and I also think that we have to remember when we are thinking about built environment that for who we are building for, and also like what are the values and priorities, and also be mindful of that when using AI, especially if someone is kind of doing a lot of decisions for us, to kind of be mindful in that sense.
That's true, yeah.
We also, if think about data and our kind of digital built environment, we have a lot of critical infrastructure and even buildings that we don't want all that data to flow to everyone. Is there a kind of a do we need to worry that when we build these automated systems and utilize AI, this actually critical information could maybe flow somewhere that shouldn't?
Of course, that is possible, and you really have to think about that, because if like now we are seeing different conflicts in the world quite nearby. If the enemy have a data related to places, nowadays like a huge advantage. So it's very important to have a very good security matters and practical ways to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's really important thing to consider, and when we're moving fast forward, I think it's something that we need to be really considered about when doing new things and trying new things out. And I personally, what I've observed in the last, let's say, 9 months, when the ChatGPT hype has become really big, is that I think quite fast we already started thinking about these ethical issues as well, and related to data security. I think the public discussion quite early in the hype started to think about, okay, if you put all of your company's data in this open AI system, is it going to actually be safe, or is it going to be given for somebody else? So I think I'm quite happy to see that discussion started quite fast, and it's there already. So we don't have to after 2 years of developing, we started discussing of things. But from my point of view, started quite early, which I'm really happy about.
And every customer, Wendy customer, and every customer who we are speaking with, they are concerned about those things, and we are in a happy situation when we can cover today's needs at least, and very tight regulations. So, but yeah, every customer have been told that or are a little bit afraid of those things.
Sounds good, and maybe we can feel a bit more confident now with the future development of this as well. We are running out of time, so it's time to wrap up today's session. Thank you so much for joining us today as guests and giving your really valuable insight and perspectives to the discussion. And thank you all the audience for watching today's talk show. More info about FAIR you can find at www.faired.fi. and hope to see you next time on October 23rd. Thank you.